Hello students, this is the video on a very important subject which is engineering mechanics, and the importance of this subject is this, that you cannot say about any other subject that you will certainly get a question of around 6 to 8 marks, or a minimum of at least 2 questions, or you can say 4 marks in any subject. You cannot say that in any of your subject you are certain that you will be certainly getting a question of this much marks or this much weightage. But for engineering mechanics from last 5 years, we are continuously getting questions of around 6 to 8 marks or a minimum of 5 marks. इतना क्वेश्चंस इतना वेटेज तो certainly आता है engineering mechanics से. So for a paper of around 100 marks, if one subject whose weightage is fixed, that you'll certainly be getting around 5 or 6 marks from a subject, so that subject is not considered as a minor one, but it is considered as a major subject, right? So in that case, engineering mechanics is very important. Okay, and the questions from this particular topic are also very easy. By just following the steps which I'll be telling you in our videos, you can easily solve each and every question from engineering mechanics, right? So without wasting much time, let us start. Before starting the basics, the direct chapters of engineering mechanics, let us discuss about vectors, because see, vectors have his own importance, its own importance. What is the importance? The importance is, first of all, vectors will help you in your complex numbers. Okay, so if you are good with vectors, you'll be it will you'll be comfortable with the complex numbers also. And on the other case, in engineering mechanics, of course, when you are dealing with certain equilibrium questions also, sometimes you used to deal with vectors or the questions based on torque, where the direction is also important. So in engineering mechanics also, vectors plays a very important role. Okay, so those who are good with vectors, just take an overview of this video, and those who are not, you have to understand this video. This is very easy part. Okay? We all know what actually vectors are. Vectors are nothing but a quantity which has both magnitude and direction. ठीक है? What does it mean? मतलब क्या हुआ इसका? If suppose I say there is a body of mass small m, ठीक है, and I have applied a force of 20 Newton on this body. ठीक है? Is this a complete statement? Or from this statement that we have applied a force of 20 Newton on a block of mass small m, can we say that we get the complete description about this body? No, until and unless we define कि we have applied a force of 20 Newton in which direction. ठीक है? Once I'll specify the direction, then you can easily say that the body will be moving in this direction, or if I applied a force in this particular vertical direction, then body is moving up, or similarly down or in left. ठीक है? So to get the position of a body under the action of a force, we need to define the magnitude, which is 20 Newton, and the direction of the force. It means कि force को completely define करने के लिए you need magnitude as well as direction. And so for such quantity which requires magnitude and direction, these quantities are known as vector quantities, right? So let us discuss how these vectors are represented. So there are basically two kinds of representation of these vectors. Representation of vectors. There are two kinds of representation. One is graphical and the other one is algebraical. First, we'll be dealing with graphical representation. With the help of graphical representation, it will be easy for us to find out the direction. So graphical representation mainly help us in finding the direction of the vector. Okay, what is the graphical representation? It is कि how does a vector can be represented? A vector can be represented by an arrow. Okay, by an arrow where the length of arrow gives the magnitude, and the arrowhead gives the direction. This is how vector can be represented graphically. Okay, moving on to the other part where we'll be discussing equality of vectors, when the two vectors can be equal. Okay, so equality of vectors means two vectors are equal when they have same magnitude and same direction. Same magnitude and same direction. So those vectors which are having same magnitude and same direction, they are said to be equal. Like this vector, this is say 10 Newton and this is again 10 Newtons. Okay, so same magnitude, same direction. So these vectors are said to be equal vectors. Okay, now there is one more thing apart from the equality of vector, which is effect of vector. Effect of vector. ठीक है, so two equal vectors may have different effect. For example, let us take example, this is a wheel, ठीक है, and you have applied a force of 10 Newton at this position, ठीक है, and you have applied a force of 10 Newton at center of mass. Okay, so 10 Newton at this position at the top and 10 Newton at the center of mass. Now the point is magnitude same, direction is also same. It means that these two vectors are equal, right? But the difference is, with the help of this force of 10 Newton which you have applied at the top, your wheel will actually rotate, but with the help of this 10 Newton force which you have applied at the center of mass, your wheel will not rotate, it will translate. ठीक है, translate means straight line motion. Okay, translate is nothing but a straight line motion, translation. ठीक है, so the point is that these two vectors are equal but their effect is not same. ठीक है, this is one thing. Now the next thing is, on the other hand, if this is a wheel and I have applied a force on this line of action, one, this force ये apply किया यहाँ पे, again this, suppose this is 10 Newton, this is 10 Newton, this is 10 Newton force. Now again, magnitude same of all the three vectors and the direction is also same. It means that these vectors are equal. Okay, and in this case, apart along with equality, these vectors also share same effect. अब ये तीनों वेक्टर जो 10 न्यूटन के लगाए हैं आपने along this only one line of action, इसमें चाहे आप जितने भी वेक्टर ऐड कर लो same magnitude के, they will give same effect, that is rotation only, right? So such vectors which actually have a same effect and they are also equal, such vectors are known as transmissible vectors. So vectors which are equal and have same effect, they are known as transmissible vectors. Transmissible vectors. ठीक है, now why we are discussing vector, one more reason, क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन जो है ये स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एग्जामिनेशन में आ चुका है कई बार. ठीक है, मैंने वेक्टर इज गिवन, सपोज इस तरीके का वेक्टर गिवन है और ट्रांसलेशन यहां पर फोर्स लग रही है F, same F force is here, same F force is here. It means this is direction is same, magnitude is same, and since it is acting along a same line of action, so its effect is also same. Okay, so in that case your vector is said to be transmissible vector. Okay, so these are the two things. Along with equality, you also need to check the effect. Fine. Now moving on to the addition and subtraction of vector, how the vectors are added and subtracted. Okay, so first we'll be dealing with addition. Okay, suppose two vectors are given, one is this, let us say this is vector A, ठीक है, and you have to add this vector B to it. अब दो वेक्टर को ऐड कैसे करना है, Very simple way. What you have to do is draw first vector. This is A. Now from the head of first vector, draw second vector. From the head of first vector, join the tail of second vector. This is the head of first vector. This is the tail of second vector. So from the head of first vector, draw the tail of second vector. ठीक है. Now from the tail of first vector, draw a vector which joins to the head of second vector. ठीक है. So from the tail of first vector, draw a vector which will join to the head of second vector, and this final vector will give you the addition value. तो क्या किया हमने? फर्स्ट वी हैव ड्रॉन द फर्स्ट वेक्टर, देन फर्स्ट वेक्टर के हेड से सेकेंड वेक्टर का टेल ज्वाइन किया आपने, तो इतना इतना बन गया आपका, राइट. देन फ्रॉम द टेल ऑफ फर्स्ट वेक्टर यू हैव ड्रॉ अ वेक्टर which actually join the vector b in its head. ठीक है. और ये क्यों बोला कि from tail to head we are going? Because we are dealing with vectors and we are not only concerned about the magnitude but also with the directions. ठीक है. तो from tail of first vector you are moving to the head. That's why I have given here arrow in this direction. ठीक है. तो a plus b का direction जो है वो ये होगा, right? So this also you have to keep in mind that when you are drawing finally the resultant one, you have to draw it from the tail of first vector to the head of second vector. ठीक है. And that will give you the value of a plus b. Now there is one question which state government department used to give again and again. ठीक है. What is that question? Whether vector addition is commutative or not. This is the question. What does this word means? It is that a plus b is equal to b plus a. Whether this is true or not? Yes. Vector addition is commutative. ठीक है. So vector addition is commutative. ठीक है. It is true. ठीक है. Why it is true? Let us check out graphically only. When we are drawing a plus b, suppose let us take the same vector. This is a, this is b. ठीक है. a plus b क्या आया हमारे? ये हो गया a. This is b. ठीक है. And this is a plus b. Right? Now to be commutative, what condition need to be satisfied? That a plus b must be equal to b plus a. ठीक है. तो b plus a बना लो आप. So in this case when you are drawing b plus a, your first vector is b and second vector is a. ठीक है. So let us take first vector b. This is b. ठीक है. Then from the head of first vector, join the tail of second vector which is a. अब b प्लस ए बना रहे हो ना, पहले आप a प्लस बी बना रहे थे, तो पहले आपने a ड्रॉ किया, देन a फ्रॉम हेड ऑफ a you have joined the tail of b. Now we are drawing b plus a, so from the head of first vector which is b here, we have joined the tail of second vector which is a. ठीक है. Now to get the final vector b plus a, what we have to do? From the tail of first vector, draw a vector which join to the head of the second one. So from the tail of first vector, draw a vector which will join to the head of second one in this direction only, right? So this will give you b plus a. Now if you look at it carefully, this is forming a parallelogram and the two parallel sides are equal. In case of parallelogram, it means कि ये वाली side जो है, this is equal to this side. It means a plus b will be equal to b plus a. First thing, ठीक है. इससे तो समझ में आ गया कि मैग्नीट्यूड सेम है. ठीक है. And with this arrow which you have drawn, you can also identify that the direction is also same. So the vector a plus b and vector b plus a both are having same magnitude since it is forming a parallelogram, and also same direction which you have proved graphically. It means a plus b is equal to b plus a, and so vector addition is commutative. Okay, so always remember, whenever you get a question, your vector addition is commutative or not, your answer should be yes, it is commutative. Okay. Now moving on to the next thing, when we multiply a number with a vector. Okay. So product of number and a vector. What are the changes? Suppose this is vector a given, this is vector a. Okay, and you need to find 2a. Okay, then what is it? You have multiplied 2 to this vector. What will be the change? The change is you have to add this 2 times. Okay, so this is a, and this complete vector from this point to this point, this will give you 2a. If you said 1.5a, then it will be a, ठीक है, प्लस 1.5a, sorry 0.5a which is the half of a, and this complete will give you 1.5a. ठीक है, so this is how when it means uh, multiplication of a number with a vector means adding that vector that many times. जितने जो भी नंबर से मल्टीप्लाई किया है वेक्टर को उतने टाइम्स ऐड कर दो. ठीक है, that will give you the final value. Now one more thing, product of a negative number, or you can say -1 with a vector. What is the effect? ठीक है, अब जब माइनस से आप किसी भी या नेगेटिव नंबर से आप जब आप मल्टीप्लाई करते हो एनी नेगेटिव नंबर, ठीक है सब ठीक है, तो जब नेगेटिव नंबर से आप मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो व्हाट इज द चेंज इज कि नेगेटिव नंबर से मल्टीप्लाई करने में किसी भी चीज का डायरेक्शन हो जाता है चेंज. सपोज ये दिया हुआ है ग्रेटर देन दिया है, ठीक है, अब आप इस पूरे में -1 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दोगे तो यू नो कि साइन चेंज हो जाता था, राइट, मींस द डायरेक्शन गेट चेंजेस, right? So the same will be happening here only when you will multiply any vector. Suppose this is given a, this is given a, okay, and you need to find -1 into a. Then what happens? The only change is the direction of this vector get changed, get reversed. If this is given b, this is b is given, and you want to find -1 into b, then the vector will become like this -1 into b. ठीक है, तो this is the effect of multiplying a negative number with a vector. Now we'll talk about the vector subtraction. ठीक है, क्योंकि vector subtraction अब हो जाएगा बहुत easy. Vector subtraction. ठीक है, क्या फायदा होगा इससे? You need to find a minus b. ठीक है, where a is a vector like this and b is a vector like this, and you need to find a minus b. ठीक है, can I write this a minus b as a plus -1 into b? लिख सकता हूं, राइट, a plus -1 into b, this is also a minus b only. और लिखा क्यों ऐसा? Why I have written it like this? Because we know how to add vectors. वेक्टर को ऐड करना तो आता ही हमें, फर्स्ट वेक्टर के हेड से सेकंड वेक्टर का टेल, देन फ्रॉम द टेल ऑफ फर्स्ट वेक्टर ड्रॉ अ वेक्टर टू द हेड ऑफ सेकंड वन, एंड दिस विल गिव यू द वेक्टर एडिशन. ठीक है, तो यहां पर a प्लस बी ड्रॉ करना है आपको. a है आपका ये वेक्टर, b है ये. ठीक है, सो वेक्टर a विच इज लाइक दिस प्लस -1 इंटू बी. अब बी वेक्टर था आपका ये पहले इनिशियली विच इज गिवन, -1 इंटू बी. वी नो क्या हो जाएगा, डायरेक्शन विल गेट चेंज. सो वॉट एवर फाइनली वॉट यू हैव टू डू इज a प्लस दिस वेक्टर विच इज -1 इंटू बी. ठीक है, अब आपको ये दो वेक्टर ऐड करने हैं, तो ये तो सिंपल हो गया. फ्रॉम द हेड ऑफ फर्स्ट वेक्टर विच इज दिस, ठीक है, ज्वाइन द टेल ऑफ सेकंड वेक्टर which is this, and then from the tail of first vector draw a vector which to the head of second one, and this will give you a minus b. This is a, this is -1 into b. ठीक है, and this will give you a minus b. ठीक है, but the point is whether vector subtraction is commutative or not, which is a minus b, whether it is equal to b minus a or not. This is of course not. We can very clearly say that. Why? Because a minus b can't be equal to b minus a. To make a minus b is equal to b minus a, you have to take one minus sign common. ठीक है, माइनस साइन कॉमन, b माइनस a रखने के लिए एक माइनस साइन कॉमन लेना पड़ेगा आपको. ठीक है, तभी तो ये आएगा. जब माइनस अंदर जाएगा इट विल बी इक्वल टू a माइनस b, राइट. सो व्हेन यू आर टेकिंग अ माइनस साइन कॉमन इट मींस कि मैग्नीट्यूड तो सेम हो सकता है. a माइनस b का मैग्नीट्यूड कैन बी इक्वल टू b माइनस a, देयर आर चांसेस, बट इस डायरेक्शन कांट बी सेम, एंड सो इट इज नॉट कम्यूटेटिव. क्योंकि अगर डायरेक्शन सेम नहीं होगा तो वेक्टर्स इक्वल ही नहीं होंगे, राइट. टू कीप द वेक्टर्स इक्वल व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड, द मैग्नीट्यूड एंड डायरेक्शन बोथ मस्ट बी सेम. ठीक है, तो जब डायरेक्शन सेम ही नहीं है तो वेक्टर्स कांट बी इक्वल. ठीक है, सो a minus b can't be said equal to b minus a, and so vector subtraction is not commutative. ठीक है, याद रखना इस बात को. वेक्टर सब्ट्रैक्शन जो होता है इट इज नॉट commutative. Vector addition is commutative. Okay, so now let us moving on to the next thing, how to represent vectors algebraically. How to represent vectors algebraically. So when we are dealing algebraically, first of all I need to discuss about the unit vector. Most of you will be aware of this. What is unit vector? Represented by n with a cap over it. And why it is called as unit vector? Because the magnitude of this vector is equal to 1, and it helps to give the direction. ठीक है, unit vector जो होता है, it helps in giving the direction. ठीक है, this is one thing. Unit vector is a vector of magnitude 1, a vector of magnitude 1. ठीक है, now we all know that any vector A can be represented as axi plus ayj plus azk, right? Any vector can be represented in this way in terms of I, z and I, j and k, means in three directions. ठीक है, so let us draw three directions first. Let us draw all the three directions. This and this. Sorry, yeah, this. Okay, now let us say this is representing a direction k. Okay, this is giving the direction I, and this is giving a direction j. ठीक है, now you have to draw this vector on this algebraic terms in three directions which is given. ठीक है, अब आपको ये draw करना है. How you can draw? That is starting with whatever we have studied. First, take these two vectors, axi plus ayj. First you have to draw this. ठीक है, तो आपको पता है वेक्टर एडिशन कैसे करते हैं. First, from the head of first vector, draw the tail of second vector. Then from the tail of first vector, draw a vector to the head of second vector. ठीक है, तो यही करना है आपको. तो i डायरेक्शन में पहला कंपोनेंट जो है वो क्या है आपके पास, ax. ठीक है, तो कोई भी एक अननोन डिस्टेंस लेंथ लेके ड्रॉ कर लेते हैं. लेट अस से दिस कंप्लीट इज axi. ठीक है, आई डायरेक्शन में जो है आपका फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट. ठीक है, देन यू हैव टू ऐड ए वाई जे टू ए एक्स आई. ए वाई जे, लेट अस से दिस इज ए वाई जे, ये है ए वाई जे. ठीक है, नाउ वी नो कि वेक्टर एडिशन जो होता है इट इज कम्यूटेटिव. व्हाई कम्यूटेटिव? बिकॉज इट इज फॉर्मिंग अ पैरेललोग्राम जिसमें दो साइड इक्वल होती हैं. यही पढ़ा था हमने, राइट? सो दिस इज ए, दिस इज बी, एंड दिस कंप्लीट विल फॉर्म अ पैरेललोग्राम, right? So we know that these vectors can be shift parallelly. Why parallelly? Because this is it forms a parallelogram, and parallelograms have two sides equal. Otherwise also what you have to do is you have to add ayj to this vector. Up from the head of first vector, draw the tail of second vector. This is what we have studied. So draw the tail of second vector. This is first vector, this is first vector, this is second vector. Draw the tail. This will be your ayj. ठीक है, now the from the tail of first vector, draw a vector to the head of second one, this. ठीक है, and this will give you axi plus ayj, addition of two vectors. यही होता है, यही पढ़ा हमने, राइट? ठीक है, now we know this value, and what we have to do is to this value we need to add azk. So अगर ये वैल्यू आपने axi plus ayj को सपोज आपने k ले लिया, this is complete k. So now again you have two vectors only, k plus azk. ठीक है, सॉरी k तो आप फिर कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे. आप यहाँ पे c ले लो, c, दिस इज c. तो c प्लस azk. ठीक है, वेयर c इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग axi प्लस ayj. ठीक है, तो ये वैल्यू तो आ गई आपके पास, राइट? ये वैल्यू तो आपके पास आ गई. दिस कंप्लीट दिस वेक्टर विद दिस एरो, ये जो वैल्यू है यहाँ पे, ये तो आपको मिल चुकी है. अब आपको इस वेक्टर में azk ऐड करना है, मींस द कंपोनेंट इन k डायरेक्शन. दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू डू. सो दैट इज सिंपल, राइट? What you have to do is you have to add azk. So suppose azk is this, suppose this is say azk, ठीक है, greater than ayj. ठीक है, तो what we need to do is we need to add to this vector. तो क्या होगा? To the head of first vector, draw a tail of second vector, this. ठीक है, तो जो फर्स्ट वेक्टर का हेड था विच इज दिस इज योर फर्स्ट वेक्टर नाउ. तो इस वेक्टर के हेड से आपने सेकंड वेक्टर को ऐड किया, दिस विच इज azk. ठीक है, नाउ दिस लाइन फ्रॉम द टेल ऑफ फर्स्ट वेक्टर, draw a vector to the head of second one. This line will give you final value of axi plus ayj plus azk, where this is c. ठीक है, तो यहां पे ये हो गया c. c प्लस ए जेड के को करना था, ये वेक्टर को इस पे ऐड करना था. तो फ्रॉम द हेड ऑफ फर्स्ट वेक्टर यू हैव ड्रॉन द जॉइन द टेल ऑफ सेकंड वेक्टर, देन फ्रॉम द टेल ऑफ फर्स्ट वेक्टर you have drawn a vector to the head of second one, and that will provide you the final addition value. So as I said, whenever you are using a graphical or kind of algebraic representation, that what finally you will get is a direction. ठीक है, तो अगर आपसे पूछा जाए कि axi plus ayj plus az के का डायरेक्शन क्या है, तो you can very easily say कि फाइनल डायरेक्शन इस एरो में आया है, तो this arrow is nothing but northeast direction, right? This is east, this is west, this is north, and this is south. So this is northeast direction. Okay. So by this it will be very easy for you to identify the direction of a vector. ठीक है, अब अगर आपसे पूछा ठीक है डायरेक्शन तो आपने बता दिया, नाउ फाइंड आउट द मैग्नीट्यूड, तो मैग्नीट्यूड का सीधा सा फॉर्मूला पता है हमको, टू फाइंड द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ ए, और फॉर्मूला इज अंडर रूट ए एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस ए वाई स्क्वायर प्लस az square. ठीक है, so this is how we present the vectors algebraically, and we'll discuss it with the directions and its magnitude. ठीक है, for example let us take one example also. For example, if we are dealing with I plus 2j plus 3k, ठीक है, and we have been asked to find the magnitude and direction of this vector. Find magnitude and direction of this vector. ठीक है, what will it do? First to find the direction, first to find the magnitude, let us say this is a, so magnitude of a is given by under root the coefficient square. This ax is the coefficient for I, ay is the coefficient for j, and az is the coefficient for k. तो I का coefficient क्या है? 1, तो 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, right? So this will be under root 1 plus 4 plus 9, which is under root of 14, right? So this is the magnitude. Now to find out a direction, what we have to do? We just have to draw the vector very quickly. Okay, this is, let us say, I, j and k. This is k, this is I, this is j. ठीक है, तो I में तो 1 कोफिशिएंट है, and we have to draw ax, तो ax यहाँ पे 1 तक draw कर दो. Let us say this is I. ठीक है, then you have to draw 2j. Since 2 is given, तो जो भी आपने I draw किया है, it has to be the double of that. ठीक है, तो 2j will be this, let us say this. ठीक है, and this vector, ये जो आपने यहां से ड्रॉ किया फ्रॉम द टेल ऑफ फर्स्ट वन टू द हेड ऑफ सेकंड वन, विद दिस डायरेक्शन विल गिव यू I plus 2j. Now to this I plus 2j you have to add 3k. ठीक है, and 3k means thrice of the first one, so 3k will be somewhat here, sorry this should be straight, somewhat here, this will be 3k, right? This is 3k, this will be 3k. Then to add 3k to I plus 2j, what you have to do is, this is your first vector, this is your second vector, from the tail of first vector draw back to the head, and this will give you I plus 2j plus 3k, which is again in northeast direction. Okay, so this is how we present the vectors algebraically when we are talking about the magnitude and the direction of a vector, and this is the way, with the help of some graphical representation also, it will be easy for us to find a direction directly. And the magnitude, we have a formula, just take under root and add the square of the coefficients of three different directions. Okay, and now the last thing which we need to discuss in vectors are the product of vectors, and to discuss the product we have two things: dot product and cross product. So these are the two kind of products, which is a dot product, and the second one is the cross product. Okay, when two vectors are given a and b with axi plus ayj plus azk, and b is equal to bxi plus byj plus bzk, to find a dot product which is represented by a dot b, okay, its formula will be mod a mod b cos theta. ठीक है, mod a mod b cos theta, where theta must be less than 180 degree. First thing, ठीक है, mod a mod b will be the magnitude of a and b. What is the magnitude of a and b? Under root ax square plus ay square plus az square, and for b it will be under root bx square plus by square plus bz square. ठीक है, this is the dot product. Now I dot I is equal to j dot j is equal to k dot k. What will be the value of this? The value of this will be 1. क्यों? जब आप i डॉट i की बात कर रहे हो, it means you have taken a dot product of this with i only. ठीक है, तो एंगल क्या हुआ? थीटा will be 0 and cos 0 क्या होता है? Cos 0 is equal to 1. ठीक है, it means this dot product is existing and so its value will be 1. Okay, similarly when you have to calculate I dot j or j dot k or k dot I, this is equal to 0 because here theta will be equal to 90 degree and here 1. Why? Because theta is equal to 0 degree. ठीक है, तो this is the importance of a dot product. Now moving on to the cross product, a cross b, when you have to calculate a cross b, then it will be mod a mod b sine theta dot unit vector n. ठीक है, so you here you have to take mod a mod b sine theta with unit vector into n और dot n. ठीक है, तो यहां पे sin theta आ जाता है. So since sin theta is there, first thing कि I cross I is equal to j cross j is equal to k cross a. K will be equal to 0 since theta is equal to 0 degree और sin 0 जो होता है वो होता है 0. But in the second case, which is I cross j, this is equal to k. ठीक है, then j cross k is equal to I and k cross I is equal to j. फर्स्ट थिंग, ठीक है, आई क्रॉस जे के होता है, सीक्वेंस में चल रहा है, आई जे के होता है ना, आई जे के, तो आई जे मल्टीप्लाई किया तो के आया, मल्टीप्लाई एज इन क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट. ठीक है, फिर के और आई क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट लिया तो जे आया. ठीक है, देन जे एंड के होकर के करोगे तो आई आएगा. ठीक है, दिस इज हाउ यू कैन लर्न दिस. द पॉइंट इज दिस सीक्वेंस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है, यहां पर आई एम मूविंग आई जे के, बट इफ यू वांट टू फाइंड जे क्रॉस आई, then it will be minus k cross j, it will be minus I, and I cross k, it will be minus j. ठीक है, तो इस चीज का भी ध्यान रखना. सेंस द डायरेक्शन विल चेंज, डायरेक्शन चेंज हो जाएगा अगर आप यहां पे जो सीक्वेंस है आपका आई जे के, इसको डिस्टर्ब करोगे तो डायरेक्शन विल ऑल्सो चेंज. ठीक है, यहां पे यूनिट वेक्टर जो होता है, इट गिव्स द डायरेक्शन. और इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है यूनिट वेक्टर की, जब हम टॉक पढ़ेंगे अपने नेक्स्ट वीडियो में फॉर इक्विलिब्रियम, तब आपको समझ में आएगा कि इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है. ठीक है, सो दीज आर द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू वेक्टर्स एंड वन थिंग विच यू शुड लर्न, टेक इट एज अ नोट. ठीक है, दैट ए डॉट a cross b, when you take dot product of a with a cross b, it will give you the value 0. ठीक है, similarly when you take b dot a cross b, its value will also be equal to 0. ठीक है, क्योंकि a डॉट a क्रॉस b क्या होगा, mod a mod b, जो यहाँ पे पूरा कंप्लीट है cos थीटा, पहली बात. ठीक है, और जब आप जो a है, इट इज परपेंडिकुलर, सो थीटा विल बी 90 डिग्री, सो इट विल बी 0. ठीक है, तो ये तो दो वैल्यूज हैं, इनको याद कर लो. समटाइम्स यू गेट क्वेश्चंस डायरेक्टली ऑन दिस. In the question it is given that what is the value of a dot a cross b, then instead of finding and wasting time in this, you just directly you can write 0. ठीक है, तो इन दो वैल्यूज को याद कर लेना. These are two important values and this is all we have in vectors. One thing which I need to discuss, if some of you don't know how to calculate the cross product of two, then a cross b, if you need to not to find the magnitude, another way is a cross b can be calculated as a determinant. क्या होगा डिटरमिनेंट? आई जे के in the first row. In the second row, write the coefficient of the first vector जो पहले वाला मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है, which is a here. तो यहां पे लिखोगे आप ax. ठीक है, then ay and last aj. Similarly in the last row, bx, by and bz. ठीक है, and you have to take the determinant of this value and the whatever the final value is, that will provide you the cross product. ठीक है, so this is how you can calculate the cross product with the help of determinant. Okay, so this is all we have in the vectors. Just go through this video, it's quite basic one, but you need to be good with the basics, then only you'll be able to solve the questions. And if you are good with the vectors, it will make you comfortable in some topics of mathematics also, and of course in engineering mechanics it will help. Okay, so let's go to this video. Thank you for watching.